If anybody does have the hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Welcome back to Binge Point, the channel where we dive deep into the shows that have shaped television, defined eras, and stood the test of time. And today, we're talking about one of the biggest success stories in TV history. A show that's not just endured, but evolved, adapted, and thrived for an astonishing 50 seasons. That's right, we're heading to the island to talk about Survivor, the ultimate test of strategy, endurance, and human psychology. From its groundbreaking debut in 2000 to its modern new era reinvention, Survivor has outlasted cultural shifts, changing audiences, and even its own critics. But how has it managed to stay alive for so long when most reality shows burn out after a few seasons?
Throughout their time on the island, the tribes will compete in a series of challenges. They'll receive messages notifying them of these competitions at their tree mail.
It's almost surreal that Survivor is still going strong after all these years. When it first premiered, it was more than a competition show. It was an event. The premise was simple yet radical. Strand a group of strangers in the middle of nowhere, make them build shelter, find food, and then force them to vote each other out until only one remains to win $1 million. But what made it revolutionary wasn't the setting or the challenges. It was the human drama. It turned social interaction into a strategic battlefield. Watching players form alliances, betray friends, manipulate emotions, and navigate moral gray areas was unlike anything else on television. It combined the thrill of adventure with the tension of psychology, creating an entirely new genre that countless others tried and failed to replicate.
Katie, you made a big move. Didn't work out. Tribe has spoken.
In its early years, Survivor captivated the world because it felt real. It wasn't polished or overly edited. It was raw and unpredictable. You had characters like Richard Hatch redefining strategy in the very first season, Tina Wesson showing that kindness could be just as powerful as manipulation, and players like Rupert Colby and Jerry becoming household names. The show was both a game and a reflection of society, how people behave when stripped of comfort, rules, and structure. But as the seasons progressed, the producers knew they couldn't rely on the same formula forever. Once players started understanding how to play the game, Survivor needed to evolve. That's when twists like hidden immunity idols, tribe swaps, and returning players began to reshape the format. The game became more strategic, faster, and infinitely more complex. Each new season introduced new layers, new ways to win, new ways to betray, and new ways to survive. And that constant evolution is one of the main reasons the show has endured.
Tonight, your tribe will carry the torch. One tribe takes home the flame, the other gives someone the boot.
Whoa!
But while Survivor's adaptability has kept it alive, it hasn't come without criticism. As the show entered its so-called new era, beginning around season 41, many longtime fans began voicing frustration. Some felt the show had become too overproduced, cluttered with endless advantages, fast-paced edits, and overly polished narratives. Where older seasons allowed viewers to fully understand the strategy and social dynamics, newer ones sometimes rush through gameplay to focus on emotional backstories or thematic storytelling. It's not that fans don't appreciate personal narratives. Survivor has always thrived on character-driven drama. But for many, the balance has shifted too far away from the strategic gameplay that defined the golden era.
Per the rules of Survivor, if the 8 of you can unanimously agree on either Hannah or Zeke,
Casting has also become a point of contention. While the show deserves praise for improving diversity and representation, some viewers feel that the emphasis on casting people to fit story types has occasionally led to seasons where the cast feels curated for narrative purposes rather than organic chemistry. Earlier seasons felt unpredictable because the players clashed, bonded, and blindsided in ways no one could script. The modern Survivor still delivers powerful moments, but many fans argue it sometimes feels too self-aware, too focused on producing viral confessionals rather than genuine relationships. As a result, fan rankings for newer seasons have been more mixed. Longtime viewers often point to the editing and casting shifts as reasons for lower engagement, arguing that the show occasionally forgets what made it iconic, its simplicity.
You know, is so full of himself. When you give them a challenge, they're just going to have to do it because they're the greatest and the best. And, you know, every day out here, they get stronger.
And yet, Despite these criticisms, Survivor continues to dominate. Its staying power is nothing short of legendary. Even as some fans express frustration, the viewership remains steady, bolstered by streaming platforms like Paramount+, which have introduced the show to an entirely new generation. Younger audiences are binge-watching the early seasons, discovering the iconic moments and joining the conversation. The result is a multi-generational fan base unlike anything else in television. Podcasts, fan polls, Reddit discussions, and YouTube retrospectives have turned Survivor into more than a TV show. It's a year-round conversation. Every twist, every blindside, every controversial vote is dissected and debated. Even when fans are angry, they're still watching, still engaging, still passionate. And that kind of community engagement is exactly why the show continues to thrive.
Jarvis was almost there with his 9th. Everything falls. Tyson getting closer with that 10th and final block. He places it for a count of 3, 2, 1. Tyson wins immunity.
At the center of all this evolution stands Jeff Probst, host, producer, and the beating heart of Survivor. It's impossible to separate the show's success from his presence. From day one, Probst has been more than just a host. He's been the guardian of the game. His passion for Survivor is palpable, and his ability to adapt and evolve with it has kept it from going stale. Over the years, he's become an integral part of the storytelling, not just moderating challenges and tribal councils, but shaping the show's tone, guiding its philosophy, and even engaging with fans' feedback. Probst isn't afraid to experiment, even if it means facing backlash. He treats Survivor as a living thing, one that must grow, change, and sometimes stumble to stay alive. That willingness to evolve, to listen, and to take risks is what's kept the fire burning for 50 seasons.
Last person left standing wins immunity, safe at the vote. Losers, tribal council, where somebody will be voted out of this game.
Ultimately, Survivor's endurance comes down to its ability to capture the essence of human nature. Beneath all the idols, advantages, and production twists, the show still asks the same timeless questions. Who can you trust? How far will you go to win? What does survival really mean when it's not just about food and shelter, but about integrity, emotion, and ambition? Every season, no matter how different, circles back to those ideas. That's why people still care. Because Survivor isn't just about strategy, it's about people. It's about how we interact, how we deceive, how we endure. It's the most stripped-down reflection of society you can find on TV.
Here's the thing.
I'm drawing rocks unless somebody's voting my way. I'm drawing rocks.
Okay,
So
I'll draw rocks too.
Okay, we're drawing rocks.
50 seasons later, Survivor is still the gold standard for reality competition. It's outwitted cultural shifts, outplayed audience fatigue, and outlasted every critic who predicted its demise. Even when fans disagree on where the show's headed, they're united by a shared respect for what it's achieved. It's a game that mirrors life itself, unpredictable, messy, and endlessly fascinating. And as long as there are players willing to outwit, outplay, and outlast, Survivor will continue to thrive.
He's just got to make sure Coach doesn't drag him to the other mat.
We don't have a unanimous decision.
Wow.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.